Welcome, you guys, to another workshop. I am not going to talk long today because today's not about me. Today is about shortcuts in your kitchen with your habits, with things, actually. So I am going to let Jill and Sam take it from here and turn you over to them now. So, ladies,
Yeah.
the stage is all yours.
Hello out there and welcome. Thank you guys so much for joining in. I am Jill, the meal pro, and we have Miss Samantha here with our sidekick that helps keep us going.
Hey,
You know, we're
everyone.
all in different positions. And so that's what the joy is of this entire challenge and this entire program is that it's good for you no matter what spot that you're in. So I just ask you guys to see like where you guys are at to drop a comment below and let us know. Are you in the spot of like your kids have left the nest and you are like, holy smokes, I need to figure out how to eat for just one or two people now? Are you in that spot of you got kiddos running around and you're trying to manage life being the mom? Are you in the spot of maybe you don't have any, like, children and you are a dog mom or a pet mom or a great aunt, a great friend supporter of all the people that we have in our lives, no matter what ages? And maybe you're just in the spot of, "Hey, I'm retired and I need to take care of myself, but I'm not quite sure what I need to do," because what we find is that a lot of people as they age, what we find is that sweet tooth comes right out and sticks out to us. So drop that below of where you're at. Just helps us to keep on track and know how we can help you the best that we can. So Samantha, did you want to throw in anything in there? Welcome, introduce yourself.
No, I'm just here to say hi. I'm excited to share space with everyone and talk about some kitchen habit goodies and drop a little bit of the mindset in there as well. And yeah, let's dive into the goodies today.
Yay. One of the things that I think holds people back a lot of times in the kitchen or that we found is that sometimes that idea of cooking at home can kind of get inside your head and you're like, wait a minute, I can run somewhere and get something faster, or I can do something different, or all else fails, you're like, hey, I'm just going to grab a spoonful of peanut butter. But that doesn't, and Bonnie's shaking her head because the thing is that doesn't give us all the nutrients that we need. And I know you guys are out there and you are great at what you're doing. And this energy that you have flowing with us, but we've got to fuel our body properly. And I was talking to somebody actually the other day because I like to talk about how we fuel our body, like filling the gas tank. And so the thing is that it's more than just putting the premium fuel in. It's actually putting in that, like she calls it the jet fuel. Nowadays, we are all wearing so many hats in so many different ways that it's super important that we're fueling our body with what it needs. Everybody's needs are different. And so that's the important thing. And so one of the things that Samantha and I are strong at is helping to build those habits to make it stick so that you can have that piece into your kitchen. So when you don't are running last minute or you're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm just going to run through and grab something, or you ended up working until 8:30 or 9 o'clock at night and you are like, holy smokes, I have nothing to eat. What we do is we try to help you to build the habit so that you are to have pieces put together and you have that stuff in your kitchen so that it's easy to grab and go. Simple works. Okay. This is super simple. So, what we're going to talk about today, like Bonnie said and Samantha said, is we're going to talk about those shortcuts that we like to share. Because this is a great way to get started with just in your kitchen and being able to function if you're not regularly cooking in your kitchen, or maybe you think about that and you're like, oh my gosh, this ingredient has 10, and this recipe has 10 ingredients in it. And I just don't, that's like overwhelming. So sometimes we need to just simplify and go back. And I see Samantha, she's like, oh yeah, that's me. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I just want to add in too, we're all about little habits, little changes, little pivots that involve or evolve into big change long-term sustainability in your life, in your kitchen, in all the amazing things you do. That's it.
Exactly. Exactly. So we've got 5 tips that we're going to share with you, and then we're going to leave you with some, I like to call it Operation Make It Happen, like get your meals on the table. We're going to leave you with some action steps there. So our first thing is to really make sure that you're setting time aside to be able to cook, and you can always purchase those items if you don't have time to chop things. Sometimes it's the prepping. You're like, hey, I want that fruit. I want this. And then the cantaloupe sits on the counter for a week because it's to ripen. Okay. Let's be honest. What happens is the days go by way too fast. And all of a sudden, before the end of the week, it is starting to rot, or you smell a little fragrant more than normal. So that is okay to grab those chopped veggies ahead of time. Grab those chopped fruits ahead of time so that you can grab it. Yes, there is a small cost to it, but the question is, what is the cost of you taking your time to not have that stuff? Because when you're not fueling your body with that premium gas and your jet fuel, you lack energy. Okay, let's just be honest. We start to drag and then we get the brain fog. We get, multiple things that are happening. So our first tip is really to grab those chopped veggies. The deli is my favorite area. Grab those things up ahead of time. You can grab them. They are already frozen for you. Lots of times there's already the chopped onion, the chopped celery, that kind of a thing that's super easy to be able to do. Even the butternut squash is now pre-cut for you. So I know we just made one of our recipes that we've got going on in our cookbook is squash salad. And it's taking those cubed squashes and just roasting them basically and adding them to other ingredients. And so those pieces are super easy and to be able to measure out and throw into something. And not only that, but with them being cooked and already cut up, when you're hungry, it's easy to grab a cup of fruit and throw that into a bowl. And guess what? You've got a snack, you add a protein and you add your carb with it, and you are good to go. It helps burn your metabolism. So there is purposes to all of these different things. Samantha, do you have anything to add in there about the chopped veggies?
The only thing I want to add in here is it's about working smarter, not harder, right? So sure, I could grab the whole watermelon for whatever price point that is. And I also have to remember to cut it up. And if you don't have a large trash can, maybe you live in an apartment, like there's a lot of things to that. And so let's just cut out 17 questions for myself and get straight to the goods and just get the watermelon that's pre-cut, if that works for you. Working
Exactly.
smarter, not harder for each of our kitchens, because they're all different and they all have different needs too.
For sure. For sure. And so that's what I love about this is that you can make this work for you. These are just tips that we've used and that a lot of our clients have used in the past that have helped them to be able to get dinner on the table because, like I said, we're all busy. Another tip here is tip 2 is all about using fresh produce. Okay. So we've talked about getting it chopped. If you are that person that you're like, hey, I'm going to buy it myself and I'm going to chop it myself, that's perfectly fine. So there are tools out there for you to use to help in that manner. So a couple of those different tools, one of my favorites is the food chopper. Well, number one, you've got the good old cutting board and the knife. That does take a little bit of time. But the food chopper, you can literally slice it in half. You throw your onion in there. If it calls for a quarter cup or a half of an onion, you throw it in the chopper. Bam, bam, you're done. You guys, I'm sorry, I'm talking with my hands a lot today, but that's just the way it's going to go. So anyway, but you use that chopper so that you can get that prepped and you can get that ready. And then the other thing is that is something that you can actually prep for the week. So as your meal prepping and your menu planning and things like that, and you have several recipes that are calling for onion, instead of having to do that several times each day, you can actually just get that done like at the beginning of the week. And then you've got a cup of onions so that you can just grab out as you need them. Anything else, Samantha? Okay. I was thinking too, my other favorite tool in the kitchen is the food processor. And you guys, I am one of those people that like sometimes my meat, my hands get tired. Honestly, after stirring and different things like that or chopping up the meat for chicken, especially, I tend to throw that in the food processor just so that I can get that a little bit more shredded up. Sometimes, like I said, it's just my hands don't always work the way that I want them to. So that's an easy way to be able to shred that up and make it so that it's usable. Because sometimes we look at those big pieces and then we're like, oh, yeah, we could do something with that. But we have to do, like Samantha said, 17 other steps before we get to that point of actually being able to eat it and actually being able to use it. So with the food processor, there's different ways and there's different settings on it that you can either slice your product, you can either dice the ingredient, you can shred it, you can chop it, you can puree it. So even no matter what area that you're at in your life, you may need softer foods. You may need something that's a little bit easier to cut up. Maybe you just need to save time. And I know that sounds silly, but cutting food can take time and it takes effort. And for sometimes from us coming in from work after working our days or just running our life for crying out loud, that is like the last thing that we want to do on our menu. Even though we want that steak, and let me tell you, my grandma that's 90 loves her steak, but I have to cut it all up for her. And I'm like, so you're cutting yours, then I'm cutting hers, or you're cutting your kids, or somebody else's, whoever needs help. And so just take advantage of the tools that are offered out there to be able to make that a piece of what you're already doing. Samantha, yep.
Yeah, I want to add, we're talking about you making this work with you and for you. So if you don't have a certain tool and you're feeling, oh my gosh, now I need to go invest in something or I need to add all these tools to my kitchen, that's not really what we're talking about here. You want to, and it feels good on your heart to go buy a Ninja, Snazzy, whatever those things are. Do it because that's good for you and right for you. However, if you've got, like, I have my grandmother's stick blender. It's falling apart, but it works sometimes when it gets the job done. Same thing with other tools. If all you have is the blender, what sucker up, right? Let's make it work for us. And let's make these little things a little bit easier for you and your kitchen. I know, quick side story, one of the things that really helped out in our kitchen was like egg salad, chicken salad, like high protein, easy, done for multiple meals. But I was not doing it because of Jill was saying, oh, I got to cook the chicken. I got to cut the chicken. I got to add it all together. Now you just throw the chicken, the whatever else seasoning in the buzzer. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. That's what I like to say.
Yeah. And you actually brought me to when you said eggs. Boiling hard-boiled eggs, which hard-boiled eggs are a super easy snack. You can also add them to a lot of different meals. You can add them to salads. Bonnie, you can fill in on a lot of the different things that you can do with them. But eggs are actually the one ingredient that everybody knows something to do with. So with the hard-boiled eggs, you can get them already done. If you don't want to take the time to peel them and you don't want to take the time to do it, buy your 6 eggs at a time and just use them in the package because it makes it easy. And again, when it's easy, you grab it and you eat it and you go with it. So Instapot, 5 minutes in the Instapot. Thank you. There's a lot of tips that we can share as a team that we've all done and we use because we are in the same positions that you guys are out there. That's what makes this Wild Free Health team like work so well. And with us all working together is because we all have our own specialties that we can share and we can help each other with. So it's a collaboration, but you're getting like the whole thing and everybody gets to specialize in what they're best at, which is how you get the most value from our courses and from our packages. That's what I was just gonna say. Number 2 with the fresh produce, just really utilizing those tools as needed, utilizing the things you have to make it work for you. All right. Number 3, I know we're going through these fast, but I know like you guys, we're all busy. And so we want to make sure that we get this information out to you and make it doable tips. So one of my favorite things is to have on hand is my rice cooker. I know I'm talking about a lot of tools, but again, these help to make the cooking process much faster. The thing about the rice cooker and with that ingredient would be rice can be added to a lot of different things and rice can be frozen. So if you don't have the rice cooker, no problem. Do it in the pan, but make like 6 servings instead of just your 2 servings or your 1 serving at a time. And Bonnie's saying you can use your Instapot for rice too. And this stuff is amazing that we can utilize these different things. When my rice cooker is actually an Instapot. It's like one of those ones that you do all kinds of different things with. And that's why I like it because sometimes I don't have the time to cook it. So when I do cook it, I'm always doing at least double, if not triple batches. Because the thing is that once that's cooked, you take it out, you eat the fresh, you take the other half of it and you baggie it up. Okay. Now, I'm not just saying throw it all into one bag, but for me, it's just myself and my grandma. Okay. So I'm going to bag it up into 2 serving portions so that I don't have a ton of stuff left over. Because number one, we never get to the point of eating the leftovers a lot of times. And then I throw it away. And so if you just have it already portioned out and it's already done, it's there. That is for those nights when you come home at 9 o'clock at night and you're like, hey, I don't have anything to eat. If you already have like your rice, you have some chicken already cooked up and you have a vegetable, within literally 5 minutes, you're throwing everything into a pan. If you want, microwave it. I know a lot of people don't care for the microwave, so throw that all into the skillet, throw some olive oil or your EEVO or your avocado oil, whatever's your favorite. Those are some of my recommendations though. Throw that in the bottom of the pan, throw in your rice, throw in your meat, throw in your veggies, put a top over it, and wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, you have dinner. That's how simple it can be. It doesn't have to recreate the wheel on things. We want to make this work for you. Sam, did you have anything to add in there? Nope, or thumbs up. Okay. So like I said, rice on hand without having to cook it is a huge thing. I usually have that. And the other thing I like to keep in my freezer, I prefer frozen versus canned, is like beans. If you're cooking up beans like rice or black beans or things like that, cook up a big bunch at a time. That way, number one, you're not prepping 4 hours on the weekends to have 1 week's worth of meal, but you're making it part of what you're already doing. That's the key, is that we're trying to help you to create these habits in a spot where you can do it when you're already doing something else. But it's about knowing what to do with those different things. So that is number 3, have rice on hand. Number 4 is your garlic. Garlic tends to be a spice that is super easy to add into meals and it flavors it up. And for crying out loud, garlic is good for you, you guys. It's good for it. There's a lot of health properties with it. Definitely take advantage of that. Having the fresh garlic is obviously number one, to be able to pull out those heads and put them through the clove thing. I'm sorry, you know what I'm talking about. This is the pincher that it's going into and it's pushing out the thing. The word is going from my brain. Help me out, ladies. But
Just
you can
think
utilize
squisher.
Swisher. I'm kidding. I think Bonnie's typing in the official name of it for us. But I know I have it because I've used it. Garlic press. There we go. Garlic press. And so you can throw those heads in there and do that. If that's too much, if you don't want to have to do all of that, you can either do it on your own and get it pre-prepped, throw it in some olive oil, throw it in a little jar, put it in your fridge. Or you can buy it already pre-mixed. Holy smokes, you guys, this is so easy. You can just buy the small packs to start with, see how you're using it. If you're using it more than what you want to go through it at a time, get the bigger portions. So there is times when you're shopping where, yes, shopping at the Sam's Club or Costco for the whole thing. There we go. I'm seeing Bonnie put on a note here. You can lay out the garlic. What did that say? I just saw it come up. Lay out the garlic, you guys. Check out the comments for sure because we have more nuggets in the comments. But
I'll add there.
okay.
Well, it says you can lay out the garlic bulb on a cutting board and slam another board right on top. It cracks them open, you can then pop them into the food processor. And a little bonus there is you get some aggression out. Win-win situations here.
There you go. There you go. Thank you. And with the garlic, like I was saying, it's something that like you can go to Sam's Club, you can go to Gordon Foods, you can go to your Costco's and things like that where you can buy them in bulk, but that may not be applicable for you. If you have a small household and maybe you find that you're not using it that much, it's okay to buy a smaller portion because it actually is probably going to save you money in the long run. All right. So that's just a thought and a tip on that for helping with the budget too. I know that wasn't really added in for our cooking shortcuts, but saving money is always something we want to do, right? So I thought, yeah, the other tip I was going to give is when you do that, I put mincing a bunch of garlic cloves in the food processor, then freeze them in the ice cube trays. You can always throw them into an ice cube tray. You can actually do that with a lot of your different spices. You can get the fresh stuff. You can put it out into your ice cube tray and you just fill it up just a little bit. And then you throw on your oil into it, just a little bit of oil just to coat it. Then you can easily pop it into your meat. You can put it into your vegetables. You can put it into your potatoes. You can put it into your rice. And it just adds a little bit of flavor, whatever is your favorite thing. Okay. What we tend to do is we tend to get into a spot where you go through phases maybe with spices, depending on the year and what's fresh and what kinds of things that you're cooking. But garlic is a good one that you can really put on anything. And it always adds a little flavor to it. So definitely take advantage of putting that in the ice cube trays. Our fifth little nugget is about eggs. Like I said, eggs are something that is very quick and easy to throw in. There are all kinds of different eggs, by the way, now. So if you don't want to do the chicken egg, you can do the duck eggs. There's quail eggs. There are a lot of different options if you don't want a certain thing. And organic versus non-organic, I'm just going to touch on that really quickly because what that means, organic means, is that it's the pesticides that are put onto the food that our animals are eating or our plants are getting. And so you don't have to get everything organic because sometimes there are, like, for instance, avocados, they have a thicker skin on it. So that pesticide isn't necessarily getting on the inside. It's still on there. And so you want to clean it properly and you want to be very careful about putting that out there. But that is one of those that you, as an example, that you could, if you're allergic or react to egg, prep nuts and seeds with the fruit for storage. Thank you, Bonnie. Just to throw in there some different ideas and different things to put in there. But eggs are easily crack them on the surface versus a lot of times maybe when you were cooking with your grandma, you cracked it on the side of the bowl. And then what happens? Our cracks are like a little bit of our shell falls in. Then you're dipping your finger in, trying to get that darn thing out. You can't get it moving. And then you're like chasing it and you just get pissed off. Let's just be honest. Excuse my French, but you just do. So that is where if you do get an egg shell in there, a little tip is that you can take the other part of the eggshell and you can grab it into where that shell is at and it will attract it. And then you can scoop that out rather than dipping it in with your finger and trying to get it out or even like a spoon and chasing it around in there. So that's a quick, easy way that you can get that out. But make sure that you're putting that doing it on the countertop. Sorry, my dog is sitting at the door and he's wanting to come in. So if you hear him, I apologize for his whining. Oh, cracking it. Yeah, like I said, cleaner break and no bits of shell. And then you can boil the eggs. You can fry the eggs. You can scramble the eggs. You can add them to veggies. You can add them to some meat. It's a quick thing that you can add into it's a quick ingredient that you can add and make a quick meal and know that you're getting something good. Add a yogurt with it, add some fruit with it, add a piece of toast with some peanut butter or some jelly. It's okay to have some of that sugar stuff. It's all about portion control of what you're having it. So if you're a little more hungry, you're going to make a couple eggs or 3 eggs versus just 1 egg, and that is perfectly fine to be able to do that. Samantha, do you have any mindset pieces that you want to add in there?
I guess it's a mindset piece. I want to add in here that a great place for one of the many ways to get eggs is locally. So if you're maybe new to your community or you're like me and you've lived somewhere for 6, 7 years and you're still getting to know the community around you, a great way to get this eggs or other proteins, whether it's locally sourced fruits and nuts or other kinds of meats, is to look around your neighborhood. I have 3 neighbors right offhand that I know have chickens and often have a surplus of eggs. And so a great way to meet people and get to know your community is to go and ask people, are you selling eggs? Are you? And then not only do you know where it is, you know where it comes from. You can go and pet the chickens, or if it's fruit from a neighbor's tree, you can get to know the tree as well. Whatever's up to you, right? It's just another little fun tidbit to that so that you have a little more connection to that food. And we're not talking about going out of your way to go and source something new. Let's make it easy and work with you there. So
I love that. In fact, Samantha's from Arizona and I am from Michigan. So I had the opportunity to go to Arizona last year, and and Samantha and I actually got to meet in person. It was so exciting because we never actually got to meet in person. But one of the things was the house that we stayed at actually had 9 orange trees. I've never picked oranges from an orange tree, but I am telling you what, not only did I laugh so hard, like, getting those darn oranges off, it was a fun process, and I'm holding on to the basket, trying to catch them as we're, like, pulling them off and stuff. But then we were able to get, like, that fresh squeezed orange juice and the fresh things, and the lady's house that we stayed at, the VRBO, she actually had 9 I remember she had 9 trees in her yard, and so she actually rented them out to her neighbors, and the neighbors each purchased a tree, and they would come and source the oranges from there. I know, isn't that I mean, that was, like, so smart because she wasn't like you said, it was a surplus and she wasn't gonna be able to use it, but it was a great way for her to be able to put money in her pocket, and let's just be honest, where the world is going, I think we're all starting to look at how we can be sustainable ourselves and how we can grow fruits and vegetables into our homes so that we know, number 1, what's coming out of them, and number 2, it's gonna save you money from having to go to the store. Yes, it costs to begin with. Yes, it does have a little bit of the upkeep, but look at it as more of I don't know, for me, when I had my garden last year, I was like, it was my zen at night. My 15 minutes to go out and water my garden was kind of like, okay, I get to go have a break and I get to go breathe the fresh air. I get to go stand with my dog outside. We got a pineapple growing. Do we have is that a pineapple? Yes. It takes over a year, almost what, 6 months to a year to grow 1 pineapple.
6 months to a year, but this one so this top right here,
Uh-huh.
forgive the kid mess in the back, but this top I put in this pot, which was leftover soil.
Yeah.
I have 1, this sucker, not sure what the heck's going on there.
Oh, you've got a few of them in there.
Yeah, I've got 2 2 down here.
Yeah.
It's crazy what can happen, and this is a pineapple.
Yeah.
So, along your point, you can regrow your food.
Yeah. Exactly. You can take, like, the seeds from different things and put them into the soil, like you said, leftover soil. You have pots sitting around that maybe you didn't get your flowers into. It's okay. Throw out all your stuff, you know what I mean? Throw your extra leftover peach seeds or your tomato seeds and different things like that. You guys, there's YouTube videos all over the place. We do them as well. We want to help you to be able to be sustainable and make this food work for you so that your gut is not just going, oh, why did I eat that? If you've had that thought of why the heck did I eat that, you need to start thinking about what you're putting in your body. Because when you're feeling like that, your body is telling you that it doesn't make it feel good. And it means that you're putting the low fuel, the low grade fuel. Yeah, it's gonna work. Yeah, it's gonna do it, but it's not gonna give you the most amount to your life because food has a lot more to do with than just your gut, but it deals with our brain, it deals with our actions, it deals with our emotions. It deals with so much, and it's something that we do every day, but we don't want to spend the time to do it. And so with the tips that we've shared today, I hope that helps you to move forward and maybe take even just one tip from what we've shared today and start to implement that into your life. The action steps that I would love to leave you at home with, which I call Operation Cook at Home, the next step is really to choose one meal from your kitchen that you can make. Look at the ingredients that you already have. Pick out those pieces that go with a meal, a grain, a fruit, or a vegetable, and your protein, whatever kind of protein that is, plant protein. You guys know what that is. If you need help understanding what that is, we're here to help you. We're here to guide you and help you to figure out what are the things that you can have on hand to be able to make that. Because honestly, you probably have something in your fridge or in your freezer or in your cupboard that you can make. But what we don't think about is what do we do with those items? So the goal is that what you're purchasing, we have like several ideas that we can use with that same ingredient. For instance, beans or rice or quinoa or any of those different things, because those add the protein, they give you your grain. And guess what? When that stuff works together, it burns metabolism. All of us, we want to look a certain way. We want to be a certain weight or whatever. We need to boost that metabolism. And that's how we do it, is by putting the right kinds of ingredients together so that it works together and it burns together naturally, right? The other thing go ahead. Did you have anything else, Samantha? Okay, cool. The other thing is save time in your kitchen by implementing one shortcut that we just, shared into your routine. Like I said, one. This isn't saying, hey, you've got to do all of these tips or anything, but think about what we said. And the first thing that pops out to you that's going to be the easiest for you to do that one and stick with that one for a little while. Stick with that one for maybe a couple weeks and then add in more, because the way to build habits is not to, okay, we're going to draw a line in the sand, cut cold turkey, and we're going to start all new. Like you guys Samantha, like the eyes, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't do that. So I'm just saying, these are all about making it fit into your life to make it what you want. 3 is have a cooking secret that you want to share. Please share the cooking secret or the shortcut that you have that you've mastered at your house, because you know what? The only way for us to learn more is to learn from each other. And that's where like our Wild Free Health community and Treat Yourself Simple and all of our pieces that we've brought together. Yes, we're all managing our own businesses, but we all can work together. And that's how we get better. That's how we're able to help each other out, because sometimes we all have off days. And that's one of the things that I really love with the Wild Free Health team, is that we just are able to make it work with our lives, no matter what is going on, whether we have little ones, we have old ones. So taking care of grandma, love you, Graham, but it's like taking care of a toddler sometimes. And so that's where I know Bonnie and Samantha, you guys are at the lower end, and Kim and Kate's got her puppies to take care of and her nieces, and when Kim's taking care of her family and all these kinds of things. So I guess my point is just that we're all in different points in life and we understand that. And our goal is to help you to put habits in your life that are going to help to move forward for you, to make it easier for you so that you can fuel your body the way you need to. Because I'm telling you what, when you do, you have energy and you are excited about life and you want to go out and do things. And guess what? When that happens, people want to be around you and they want to be in your vibe. They want to say, what are you doing? What are you doing? And so I just challenge you guys to ask yourself, hey, what is it that I need to do for me? What is it that I need to do for my spouse, for my partner, for whoever you're living with, or just to take care of you? It's okay to take care of you. This is called self-care. And a lot of times when we say self-care, we think going and getting our hair done or getting nails done or getting a massage. This is really basic self-care, guys. We're doing this already. It's just about making it work for you so that you don't dread it. Because I think that's one of the things that holds people back is that we look at it as a bigger task than what it really needs to be. Like my grandma says, she says, it's so simple, it's hard. We make it hard. And that's where the mindset piece comes in to say and reframe that to say, you know what? I can do this. I'm going to have a great meal. And you know what? It's okay to have just 2 or 3 meals at home to start with. The average family actually only eats at home right now about 3 to 4 times a week has been the average. With COVID, it may have gone up a little bit during COVID, but now we're back to reality. We're back to running and everybody's doing different things. Even though we are still working from home, it's almost like we've taken on this other like whole bucket that we didn't expect to take on to be able to do all the things we did because we can. And we have that flexibility and that energy to be able to do that. And so thank you guys for joining in today. Thank you guys for coming here. Thanks for taking the step forward to join the challenge, get involved, and really make this work for you. We are here to answer your questions. We're here to answer what you've got going on. Bonnie is our main contact here for you guys. She's going to be following up with everybody. But if you need to reach out to any one of us, we have ways that we can do that. You're able to reach to us on Facebook. You're able to reach to us on the social media parts of things. We've got lots happening and you guys can do it completely. We've got VIP events. Just let us know how we can help. We don't know if you don't tell us. That's the one thing that my counselor always said is that we can't read your mind. Nobody can read your mind. So you have to let us know what you need help with or what your question. There is no stupid question. There's no silly question, whatever. We've all been there and we've all had some of those questions all the time. And that's why we're here to give each other that boost and be able to move forward in the direction that we want to be able to get a healthy gut so that we can do all of those things that we really love to do. So I just say thank you guys. Samantha, Bonnie, I don't know if Kim, if you guys want to add anything else in, go ahead, Samantha.
I'll simply add in another thank you and thank yourself for taking the time for listening and opening your mind a little to any of these that you may have already known or might be a realization to you about little things. And I'll simply reiterate what Jill was saying there of small hinges swing big doors. Right? That means there's a little hinge on a really big door. And so if you take one thing from this and start to implement, it's just like that little bit of snow that starts a massive avalanche. And no, it doesn't happen right away. However, keep focused. It's about asking yourself, what can I do? Okay, what can I do? Okay, what can I do? That's where we keep the anxiety out, the overwhelm out. We simply focus. What can I do now? Okay, what can I do now?
Yeah.
Stay out of the future, stay out of the past, be here now. And the little things make big impact.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Just thank you for being here.
Yeah. So, yeah. Thank you guys. And we will talk to you soon.
Have a good day.